Now, I would love to introduce the next panel that's coming up from Autodesk. We've got Daniela Steinsapi, Esteban Corrales, and Cristina Radazo. Daniela is a senior manager of experience architecture at Autodesk, focusing on bringing design strategy cohesion across the Autodesk next generation platform. Esteban is the manager of technical sales at Autodesk, working with customers to understand, keep up to date, and explore Autodesk's construction technology that could help in their existing and future workflows. Cristina is the head of technical sales at Autodesk, who loves strategic thinking and leadership development. They will be joined in conversation with our very own Wendy Walker, who is the enterprise customer success manager here at Power to Fly. So I'm going to pass the mic to you all. Have a great conversation. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks so much, Mariela, and Cristina, Daniela, Esteban. Welcome to the second day of our summit. So to kick things off, I'd love to get started and learn a little bit more about you, your professional background, really kind of what brought you to this path that has led you to Autodesk. Daniela, would you like to get started?
Yeah, hola a todos. Thank you so much for having me. It is my pleasure to be here today. So how I got started with my career is that I started in the arts side of the career. It was hard to be an artist, but soon after, with the technology improvements and iPhone and all those new tech developments, I saw the opportunity in tech. So I moved from the arts, I moved into the design, and now I'm an experience designer, and I lead a team of experience designers at Autodesk.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, that sounds like quite a transition. Cristina, I'd love to hear your insight and your background.
Hi, Wendy. Hi, everyone. Thanks for inviting me to participate in this session today. I'm glad to be here. So first, I was born and raised in Brazil, and I spent most of my life there. I got my PhD degree in computer science in Brazil. I was developing software on top of AutoCAD when my path first crossed Autodesk. From there, I was hired by an Autodesk reseller in Brazil. Then I moved to Autodesk in Brazil as part of the technical sales organization. And in 2018, I moved to United States, to Denver, and I've been here leading the technical sales team that is responsible for all pre-sales activities in Americas.
Oh, wow. Well, Cristina, that sounds like quite a journey you've been on professionally. So, and quite a big move just a few years ago. Esteban, I'd love to give you the chance to introduce yourself to the audience and talk a bit more about your background.
Sure. Thanks, Wendy. Nice to meet everybody. My name is Esteban Corrales. I'm originally from Costa Rica. I moved to the States recently and became part of Autodesk. But prior to that, I'm a civil engineer, worked in the construction industry in Costa Rica for a few years, came to the States to get my master's degree in construction management, worked in industry here in the United States for a large general contractor for a few years as a project manager, and then got the chance to move into technology after living the pain that a lot of our customers live through, and was very excited to be able to be part of finding some solutions for our industry. And today I manage the technical sales team for the construction market that Autodesk supports across the US.
Amazing. Thank you for that. Well, it sounds like you've told us a little bit more about what you're currently working on now. So one thing I'd like to turn to and address is to tell us a little bit more about your experience at Autodesk as part of the Latinx community. Anyone would like to go first on this one? Daniela, I know you're really active in the ALN network there at Autodesk.
Yeah, absolutely. So at Autodesk, we have the employees resource group, and one of those employee resource groups is the Autodesk Latinx network. Sorry, excuse me. So this Latinx network is really here to empower and build community of the Latinos at Autodesk. So recently we celebrated the Hispanic Heritage Month. We had a series of events, and this is really an opportunity for us to come together and as well as to help develop a broader and bigger and stronger community of Latinx at Autodesk. So it is, I'm part of the board, I'm the communications chair, and it's just wonderful to be part of a group with other passionate colleagues who are as passionate as I am to kind of build a diverse workforce and to really embrace the Latinx culture and help actually recruit and develop a stronger Latinx community at Autodesk.
I'll jump in, I guess. I joined the ALN out of the Portland office when I first joined Autodesk about 4 years ago, and I've also gotten a chance to go to San Francisco and different offices in different areas and meet the different members across the country and across the world of the org. I think the great thing about the ALN organization and just having a chance to meet others that come from similar backgrounds and diverse backgrounds of the Latin community. We all know that there are many countries that comprise the Latinx community in terms of heritages, and we all bring really important perspectives, and it gives us a chance to not only feel represented, which is always important, and it allows you, representation I think really allows people to feel part of a company and part of a community. It's also given me a chance to meet a lot of the other organizations inside of Autodesk with different heritages as well, and giving us perspective around other cultures and how that affects the people that work at the company, and how we can then ultimately support our customers, which are global and are all around the world.
And I should say that the Autodesk culture around the employee resource groups was key for me when I moved to the Denver office. I was someone coming from Latin America, from Brazil, joining a new office. I've never been to that office before, and I was really surprised by the number of people from Latin America that we had in that office. So many people, I felt like I was in Latin America. We had many Brazilians there, so they helped me to giving me tips on the schools or where to find a house. Those small things that make a huge difference when we are moving countries. And they do something that I really like is a multicultural event when people from different parts of the world, they take to the office the food from their country. And that event is amazing. So I cannot wait to be back to the office to participate in that event again.
And yeah, and I'd like to add on that I think that something key that Esteban and Christina said is really about being part of a community, really having that sense of belonging. And I think that also by having that opportunity to develop that sense of belonging, it actually helps others to understand and to build more empathy. And I think that is kind of super important because we're kind of doing that knowledge transfer, because it's all about culture add, not culture fit. So that's something that we embrace and we take very seriously. And by the way, I am from Chile. Yeah, I am from Chile. I've been in the US for the last 18 years.
Yeah, Daniela, thank you for that. I love that building community. And I live in Argentina, so we could have some real competitions on who has better empanadas. But before we talk too much about food, I do want to share a question from the audience. We have a question from Ariel Berlaza Mondan, and he says, question for the group. How have you addressed challenges with building engagement with your ERG with the limitations of mostly remote work over the last year or so, especially keeping in mind quarantine and Zoom fatigue?
That's a hard one, definitely, that I think everybody's been living, obviously with remote work. It's, when you're managing a team, it's not easy. We try and make as many activities as possible that aren't just work related, and even if it's remote, whether it's a game afternoon on a Friday or a happy hour where we try and engage the teams and send out activities or objects to the teams. Autodesk has done an amazing job of actually giving the whole company additional days off, Autodesk holidays, to help with that burnout that we all live. And we have to be very sensitive and conscious of that as well. And sometimes I try and remind myself that I even have to be an example, because I find myself completely immersed in work and forget, that I should probably turn my computer off. I should probably not send emails past a certain hour. So being an example, I think, has hopefully helped. And I've been trying my best, not succeeding 100%, but trying my best to help the team in that instance.
In regards to the ERG, I think that we had that challenge. How do we celebrate the Latinx Hispanic Heritage Month without, burning out people or putting more things in the calendar and really making it engaging and interesting? So what we did, we took an approach that we had different types of event. First, we had an amazing speaker who was Dr. Hernandez, who was the first Latino astronaut, and he gonna give us a talk. And that was recorded and people could watch it on their own time, and it was fantastic. I mean, it's fabulous. If you ever wonder about him, it's just look him up, Dr. Hernandez, the first Latino astronaut. So we did kind of that event. Then we decided, instead of just like another Zoom meeting, we had an event where we all were invited to make empanadas, and we were taught how to make empanadas. And we were there in the kitchen, cooking, making empanadas, learning about the culture and the history of empanadas, which I didn't know much about. So things like that, which that can come a long way, because it's not just another work meeting. It's actually about community building, learning about culture, and getting better about embracing who we are, and also helping the others be more empathetic. So everybody was welcome to join, not just Latinos. So that was actually really important to us.
Yeah, I would say that, for example, just recording the meetings and people can attend in a different time. So that helps a lot. We have Slack channels, so we can communicate with each other through Slack, which is great as well. I would say that it is important for us to make time for what is important for us. So I participated in other events like this one, because if every time I get an invite to participate in this type of events, I think, oh, my agenda is full. I don't have time. I have so many things to do right now. But then I think again, and I should make time for this because this is important.
And just so that in case there's any Costa Ricans watching and there's no rivalries here, Daniela, the first the first astronaut was actually from Costa Rica. Franklin Chang was the first Latino astronaut. But our guest speaker was the first one to tweet in Spanish from the space station.
Thank you for that clarification.
If not, I'm going to get calls if I don't say something.
I get it. No problem.
Yeah. I think that's the great thing about the Latinx or Latino community. It's all these different countries and different cultures coming together, and that's what makes it such a rich experience. One thing I want to circle back on, as we did talk about, your trajectory there at Autodesk, which sounds like an amazing organization. So I want to talk now a little bit about, what you're working on, and particularly what's been the highlight of your career there at Autodesk. Christina, would you like to go first on this one?
Yeah, so I think the highlight in my case was that I joined technical sales, or many people know this by pre-sales. And it is a field that many people don't know about, but I've been in this field for 20 years, and I think that was the best decision that I ever made in my career. I could achieve my goals. Is still working on the technology, more on the product side, but at the same time being able to connect to customers, to partners, interacting with people. That's something that I really like. So I think that was the best option that I've made. And I've been growing at Autodesk in technical sales, moving from an individual contributor position into management, but still with technical sales. And what's next for me? That's always a hard question to answer. Life is unpredictable by nature, and I also like to do many different things. So when I try to combine all these together, so I actually today I'm investigating and learning more about different areas. I've been learning more about business analytics, how business analytics intercepts marketing, and also customer success, which is a kind of evolution of technical sales. So I've been learning more about all these three different areas and how I could merge them together. And I think I want to do something related to those areas in the future.
Sounds like you have a lot on your plate. So best of luck with those new endeavors and finding a way to combine all these beliefs. And from a customer success background, I can definitely see how that can go hand in hand with technical sales. Esteban, would you like to tell us kind of what's a highlight for you, particularly with your time there at Autodesk?
Yeah, you know, coming from a very competitive and difficult industry like construction, it's many hours, lots of stress, lots of pressure. Yet the fun part about construction has to do with the problem solving and be able to make an impact in the community, see what you've built. So I think the biggest highlight for me with coming over to Autodesk was a chance to do the what I liked about the industry, but to help do it across the industry, not just for one project or not just for one company. So to me, the highlight has really been being able to make an impact in helping multiple companies and all of the kind of the customers that we support has been really rewarding, right? You get to see the solution that we present to a customer. We get to see us giving them time back to be with their families, time back to have more of a work-life balance that at times we don't, right? Because we're so busy with work. That, and then also I would say something that Christina mentioned that has been really rewarding at Autodesk is the ability to grow and do new things. You know, you can raise your hand and say, I want to learn about this, or I want to learn about that, and you get the opportunity to do so. So that's been incredibly rewarding, while feeling supported, right? And especially with, and I'm sure Daniela and Christina, you know, with what you guys have said, you felt this before. We've left our countries, we've come to a new country where we miss home. It's difficult, it's not easy to be away, and to be part of an organization that supports you, that you feel represented, that you feel that you have the opportunities. It definitely helps a lot when you know, when we're homesick and when we're making the types of sacrifices that you have to make sometimes to be able to be part of an org.
Yeah, so from my end, I started my career at Autodesk as an experienced designer in the education group. So I was really passionate about creating product design experiences for our education and certification users who wants to get certified. So it was fascinating for me to kind of create learning paths and help people learn how to use our products. Similar to what Christina was saying about customer success, we were really here about helping our new users and our student users to learn how to use our tools. Then after 4 years there, I transitioned to the platform side of Autodesk, which is a much bigger organization, which has been fascinating for me because from 150 organization, I moved to a very big organization, like 800, right? So here I've been having the opportunity to work with engineers and software architects and other type of roles that in education I didn't have a chance to work with them. So I'm constantly learning and getting better and really focusing now on strategy in really bringing design cohesion across the different touch points that we serve to our customers. So.
Amazing. Well, glad to hear that. So in just the last few minutes that we have, Autodesk sounds like a great place to work. And I know that Autodesk will be participating in our virtual job fair tomorrow. I know that your team is hiring globally, in the US and LATAM and all around the world. So I'd love for you to give some advice for job seekers who are looking for roles at Autodesk. What advice would you have for someone who'd like to work on your team?
My recommendation is first to learn about our cultural values. So this is very, very important for us. And when we hire, we look for people who are a good fit for our cultural values. So learn more about our cultural values and come prepared to share our experience related to those values. So you'll be asked about previous experience that have some relation with our cultural values.
I would say research about the company, research about the roles, try and understand as much as you can, because it's always very impressive when you speak to a candidate that knows about Autodesk, that can prove that their interest in Autodesk is about what Autodesk does, not necessarily just about, hey, I just want to join, but that it actually, that they've taken the time to truly understand what they can bring to the table. So definitely research before jumping into an interview process. And then even more than just an interview, my suggestion is by doing that, a lot of us don't realize that there are opportunities at a company like Autodesk. I didn't. I was lucky enough for somebody to reach out to me. I never thought that there was positions here. So read through all of the different opportunities and you might find that your expertise is actually a good fit. So don't be afraid to apply for positions as well, as my other suggestion.
Yeah, and in addition to that, for the wonderful tips, I also think about like, what is it that you would like to do? Because we do want all of our colleagues to be passionate about what you do. So if you're passionate about, and there's a role there or an organization there, get to know the people, get to know what we do, and explain and tell your story, because we're always looking for new talent, and you may not be the perfect fit, but that's okay in terms of, oh, I didn't have enough experience, or I need to get better at this, or there's never the perfect time or the perfect candidate. Like, I think you have to be, perseverance and be confident that, that if you really want something and you really try and you did the research and you understand the culture values, things will work out. But I think that just reaching out and really seeing what opportunities are there is a really important step, because you do have to be very proactive. I remember when I applied to Autodesk, I wanted only Autodesk, and I remember that was the only company I applied to, which at the end it worked out, and I got the job. So
these are wonderful tips: being proactive, going after what you want, not getting discouraged. Also, a statement I love: really doing your homework. Making sure you come to that interview prepared and really know a lot about the organization. And then, aligning what you want to talk about, what you want to share with the values. That's so important. So thank you, all three of you, for that feedback. So we do need to wrap it up. So final question, how can we connect with all of you and support your endeavors?
Sure. I mean, on my part, don't hesitate to find me in LinkedIn. I'm always happy to connect with anyone and answer any questions that somebody might have and support you in any way I can. And keep a lookout for the job board as well at our website. We're always recruiting. I have an open position right now, so don't hesitate to be part of the job fair that's coming up in the next couple of days.
Yeah, just go to my LinkedIn profile. Feel free to connect to me. I always post my job openings on my LinkedIn profile, so keep an eye on that.
Absolutely, same with me. Please find me on LinkedIn. The platform team is hiring for engineers and product managers and experienced designers. So if you're one of them, please do reach out. We have many positions open.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Cristina, Daniela, Esteban, it was so nice to spend this time speaking with you to learn more about the ALN and about the team there at Autodesk. It sounds like you have a great ERG and you've really been able to grow. So I'm going to pass it back now to Mariela, and we can continue on with the wonderful summit.
Gracias, Wendy. Hasta luego. Mucho gusto a todos.
Gracias.
Chao,
Obrigada.
gracias.
Bye.